Take a deep breath, because today the air is buzzing with moves happening behind the scenes. A veteran suddenly has to prove himself all over again. A rookie is being thrown into the fire against a defensive mastermind. An unexpected target is winning over the quarterback, and a shift in identity might just change the entire locker room vibe. Sounds over the top? Wait until you hear the details coming straight from the field. Who's going to step up, who's on the hot seat, and who might become that unexpected wild card? Things are about to get heated. You won't believe what we have today. So pull up a seat, hit that like button, and let's jump right into it. At the heart of Foxborough, a quiet battle is grabbing attention and messing with the heads of the most tuned-in fans. Kyle Duggar, the guy everyone thought had a permanent spot as a starting safety, is suddenly running with the second team. That's right. The name we all expected to hear in the starting lineup is now sitting behind Jabril Peppers, Jalen Hawkins, and Craig Woodson during the most important reps. For many, that's a blaring alarm. The truth is, Duggar hasn't had an easy offseason. An ankle surgery kept him sidelined, and while he's back on the field, it's clear he's still working to get his rhythm back. Mike Vrabel, always calculated, has made it clear that nothing is set in stone. This is part of making sure every player understands the coverage concepts, the schemes, and most importantly, earns his spot. The messaging sounds positive, but fans can't help but wonder, is there more to the story? And here's the intriguing part. Vrabel isn't the type to make moves without a purpose. Slotting Duggar in with the second team could very well be a message to the whole roster. Nobody's untouchable. It creates a meritocracy where every rep matters, which could ramp up the intensity of practices, but also shake up veterans who thought their spots were locked. Strategically, this changes things. Duggar's explosive against the run and solid in coverage, not an easy combination to replace. If he loses snaps, communication and chemistry in the secondary could take a hit, especially in big games. On the other hand, Peppers and Hawkins have been solid, and Woodson's been coming on strong. Vrabel could be testing different combinations and building depth for the long haul. Another factor is starting to buzz in the background, the trade market. If Duggar can't win his spot back, he instantly becomes a hot commodity. Plenty of teams would jump at the chance to get a safety with his skill set, especially if the price isn't outrageous. That could net New England help at a position of need, or even some valuable draft capital. Fan reaction is split. Some want Duggar back in the starting lineup immediately, arguing he's a key piece for an aggressive, no-nonsense defense. Others see Vrabel's move as smart, a way to keep everyone motivated and hungry. One thing's certain, this story isn't done yet, and if the goal was to light a fire in the building, Vrabel's already succeeded, and this isn't even the most surprising thing to happen today. Some days, the practice field turns into a cruel laboratory. Perfect routes fall apart, blocks arrive a second too late, and the pass rush comes screaming from angles you never expected. That was exactly the scene in Egan during the first joint practice against the Vikings. A defensive mad scientist stacking disguises, late shifts and blitzes from nowhere, making our offense grind through a gauntlet. If you know that coordinator, you know he loves putting a young prodigy under the microscope, stressing every bit of technique and composure. When the clock's ticking, the game becomes chess at lightning speed. The man in the spotlight? Will Campbell, our brand new left tackle, locked into the starting role since spring, faced the full menu of Brian Flores' pressure packages. In 2 team drill snaps, he gave up what would have been sacks, not a collapse, but a live-fire exam, overload on one side, simulated drop-offs on the other, and perfectly timed stunts. For a 21-year-old rookie, that's like taking an oral exam with the toughest professors in the league. The upside? August scars usually turn into December toughness. The locker room's response was textbook. Kalavan Chason, who's battled Campbell one-on-one countless times, hammered home Vrabel's mantra, next play mentality. You mess up, reset your stance, lock your eyes forward, and fight the next rep. No dragging the last snap into the next one. Chason even said he wants to be the best opponent. Campbell faces all week, so that Sundays feel slower. That kind of internal competition turns potential into production. Anyone who's seen a young tackle make the leap knows it's built on tiny daily corrections that add up. Strategically, there's plenty to unpack. If Flores is showing this much in August, imagine what top defenses will do when it counts. New England's answers will have to involve protection slides, situational chips from tight ends and slot receivers, cadence adjustments to freeze the rush, and run calls designed to punish over-aggression. Motioning Diggs and Douglas pre-snap could force tells that give Campbell critical milliseconds to anchor, square up his hips, and shut down the inside counter. This isn't brute force, it's tactical chess. Drake Mayo, who knows the NFL's roller coaster, backed the philosophy. New week, new pass rusher, the bar never drops. The key is the curve. Giving up 2 almost sacks today could turn into 2 textbook anchors tomorrow. Fans, meanwhile, swing between anxiety and pride. Anxious because everyone wants to keep the franchise QB clean. Proud because this is exactly the kind of trial that forges a franchise left tackle. And beyond the live reps, Campbell's been sharpening his craft against Keon White and Harold Landry during camp. But practicing against familiar teammates follows familiar scripts. Joint practices break predictability and expose whether your technique truly holds. Those new data points give the coaching staff the chance to fine-tune his footwork, base width, and punch timing. Growing pains now, dividends in October and November, when the games matter most. But hold on, because what's next is even harder to believe. When the Patriots offense takes the field in camp, one position group has been stealing the show and forcing tough decisions: the wide receivers. With Diggs, Demario Douglas, and Kyle Williams all but locked in, every other rep is a fight for roster survival. And in the middle of that competitive jungle, a name nobody saw coming is turning heads: Efton Kisum III, an undrafted free agent who showed up quietly and is now making noise like a veteran with a point to prove. Kisum hasn't just earned Vrabel May's trust, he's built instant chemistry. At practice, he runs routes with surgeon-like precision, finding soft spots in the zone as if reading the defense alongside his quarterback. In the preseason opener against Washington, he proved it wasn't just practice hype. 6 catches on 8 targets, 50 yards, and a touchdown. Solid numbers, but it's how he got them that pops. Sharp cuts, flawless body control, and sure hands under pressure. Josh McDaniels, who's always had a thing for smart slot receivers, has to be loving it. For the offense, Kisum is a strategic weapon. With Diggs pulling double coverage and Douglas stretching the intermediate zones, Kisum can be that reliable third down option, the safety valve who beats blitzes with quick, precise hot routes. He's also comfortable in motion, creating mismatches against slower linebackers or unsuspecting safeties. That opens up the playbook and gives May the flexibility to dictate tempo based on what the defense shows. Fans, always hungry for new offensive weapons, are split between wanting Kisum to get big snaps right away and preaching patience. But the truth is, he's already flashed traits you can't coach: field vision, instinct to get separation, and fearlessness going into traffic. In an offense that's shaping up to be more vertical and dynamic in 2025, that's gold. If history's any guide, Vrabel and McDaniels won't hesitate to plug Kisum into a rotational role from the start, letting his volume grow as he proves his consistency. And in the worst-case scenario for opposing defenses, he could become one of those not-so-secret weapons who shows up big in clutch moments. Remember, his final college season, 120 catches, 1,311 yards, 13 TDs, wasn't just production, it was dominance. Ultimately, keeping Kisum isn't just about raw talent, it's about offensive chemistry and giving the quarterback every possible tool to turn drives into points. The message is clear: if he keeps this up, cutting him won't even be an option. And while we're losing our minds over that, in the heat of joint practices, where every snap feels like it carries a message for the season, it's clear the Patriots' DNA is evolving. And at the center of that shift is the duo setting the tone for everyone: Mike Vrabel and Vrabel May. The new head coach, known for his near-military intensity, doesn't just talk about culture and mentality, he lives it. Case in point, during a joint practice with Washington, Vrabel dove right into a fight between players. He came out with a cut on his face and a grin that said, "Nobody backs down here." That energy has rubbed off on May, who proved as a rookie that he won't hide behind excuses, even with a shaky offensive line in front of him. He's not just the franchise quarterback, he's a reflection of Vrabel's vision, discipline, toughness, and zero tolerance for complacency. It starts with the coach, May said after practice. The intensity, not taking crap from anyone, the right mindset. That's what I like. For a team that went 8-26 over the past 2 seasons, this shift is more than symbolic, it's necessary. On the field, the bond between coach and QB translates to quicker decisions, physical execution, and the confidence to take calculated risks. May doesn't hesitate to use his legs to escape pressure and move the chains, but now he's backed by a roster that protects that mindset. The perfect example came from rookie running back Trevion Henderson, who picked up a blitz so cleanly he tossed the defender to the turf. That wasn't just good protection, it was a statement. Nobody touches our quarterback without paying for it. That kind of attitude, repeated snap after snap, builds something you can't measure on a stat sheet: the opponent's perception. Teams that once saw the Patriots as an easy mark are going to think twice before trying to bully them. It creates a ripple effect. The defense plays looser, the offense gets more time, and the margin for error shrinks. Long term, that identity could speed up the team's growth curve and put New England back in the playoff conversation sooner than anyone expects. In the end, what's forming is a cycle of mutual accountability. Vrabel demands, May leads by example, and the roster responds with all-out effort. It's the kind of culture that can turn a middling roster into a dangerous team ready to shock people. And if this is just the beginning, imagine what it's going to look like when the season really hits its stride. So there you have it, 4 storylines that on their own could shake up any locker room, but together paint a clear picture of where the Patriots are and where they want to go. We've got a defensive battle brewing, a rookie lineman learning through fire, a surprise receiver demanding a spot, and an identity shift being built day by day. Everything points to a season full of emotional highs and lows, where every game could reset expectations. What about you? Do you believe this new DNA will take us far? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button and subscribe, because we never stop talking Patriots here.